Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is Cinema Historia. A thief on the run, $100,000, and a settlement house hideout. This week we're going back to 1949 for a film noir crime film called Mr. Soft Touch, starring Glenn Ford and Evelyn Keyes, and this is directed by Gordon Douglas and Henry Levin. So where does our story begin this week? Well, our story begins with Polish-American Joe Mierakowski, played by Glenn Ford, aka Joe Miracle. Joe, just returning from fighting in World War II, finds his San Francisco nightclub called River Club has been taken over and controlled by the mob. With his friend and partner Leo missing and presumed murdered, Joe robs his former business of $100,000. With getting even, he's planning on leaving the country as soon as possible. Being chased by the mob, he goes to the apartment of Victor Christopher, Leo's brother, where he plans to pick up a ticket that Victor and his wife Clara had purchased for him. Because they could only book him on a ship that sails for Yokohama on Christmas Eve the next night, Joe now has to hide out until then. Thinking the safest place is to spend a night in jail, Joe pretends he's Victor, causes a neighborly disturbance until the police arrive. However, Jenny Jones, played by Evelyn Keyes, a kind-hearted social worker, gets him remanded into her custody instead. She takes him to the Borden Street Settlement House, a reform institute for adults and children in need of help. Unaware Victor is really Joe Miracle, Jenny and Joe become better acquainted. Joe causing trouble though, beating some of the youths at dice and their Christmas tree money, plus accidentally damaging an old piano, begins feeling guilty and responsible. Adding money to their Christmas fund, he also wishes to replace their damaged piano. He goes to nearby Saratoga Piano Company, a store that is actually a front for a gambling parlor. Pretending to be a police officer, he cons the owner into donating and delivering a piano to the settlement house. However, Joe is recognized by newspaper columnist Henry Bird, or nicknamed Early Bird. Looking for a hot story, wants to know where Joe is hiding out. So, does Jenny discover they have a thief amongst them? Does the early bird become a worm and get his story? Or does Joe Mierakowski miss his ship to earn the nickname Miracle? This film was written and produced by Milton Holmes. Milton Holmes, a Syracuse, New York resident, was a writer, actor, and movie producer. Rated as a missed holiday classic, audience reviews from the film critic Rotten Tomato makes more claims, stating, a soft touch for the holiday-hearted, an engaging Christmas film noir with decent acting and dialogue, excellent script with nicely modulated characterizations and interesting plot, and it's easy to like Mr. Soft Touch because of Glenn Ford and Evelyn Keyes. And this was the sixth and final film to feature Glenn Ford and Evelyn Keyes. Interesting. And our trivia question this week, was this the final movie for someone who starred in our film? Was this the final movie for someone who starred in our film? So, a little more history and the answer to our trivia question coming up next. This week for history, we're going to talk about one of the stars of our film, Evelyn Keyes. So, Evelyn Keyes was an American film actress. Born Evelyn Louise Keyes, November 20th, 1916 in Port Arthur, Texas, to Omar Keyes and Maud Keyes, the daughter of a Methodist minister. After Omar Keyes died when she was 3 years old, Evelyn moved with her mother to Atlanta, Georgia, where they lived with her grandparents. As a teenager, Evelyn took voice, dancing, and piano lessons with hopes of becoming a ballerina. Instead, she entered a beauty pageant or two and relocated to California. A chorus girl by age 18, Evelyn came to Hollywood and was introduced to American filmmaker and actor Cecil B. DeMille. Evelyn stated in her own words, "He signed me to a personal contract without even making a test." Cecil B. DeMille groomed her a starlet, initially placing her in bit parts like the pirate epic The Buccaneer in 1938 and the railroad saga Union Pacific in 1939. After a handful of B movies at Paramount Pictures, she was discovered by American film producer and screenwriter David O. Selznick. David O. Selznick gave her a bit part of whiny, bratty Sue Ellen O'Hara, who loses her beau to the more calculating Scarlett in Gone with the Wind in 1939. This led directly to her signing with Columbia Pictures. At Columbia, Evelyn hit pinup status and sparked a number of war-era pictures. And Evelyn's last role in a major film was a part as Tom Yule's vacationing wife in The 7-Year Itch in 1955, starring Marilyn Monroe. Keyes officially retired in 1956, but continued to act until 1993. Very much the traveler, Evelyn lived sporadically all over the world, including France, England, and Mexico, and spoke Spanish and French fluently. Her Gone with the Wind association and tell-all memoirs in 1977 and 1991 kept her a point of interest, including becoming a writer, publishing a Hollywood-themed novel in her later years. Very interesting. And the answer to our trivia question this week: was this the final movie for someone who starred in our film? Yes. The character of mob leader Barney Teener was played by actor Roman Bonin. Known as Bud to his family and friends, was an excellent film actor and stage actor. A member of the prestigious group theater from 1934 to 1940, he left for Hollywood in the late 1930s. Bud, the son of portrait painter Carl Bonin, performed in over 30 films from 1931 to 1949. Pretty cool. In fact, he was in a film I just reviewed recently, The Best Years of Our Lives, from 1946. Check the link below and enjoy another great film. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you back next week.
That amateur Sandy, we fell off the chimney, and there he was all over the place, nothing but Grover Cleveland.
Where is he?
Who?
The other one, the one who brought you.
The charitable screwball? He's probably feeding the reindeer.